How y'all doing? Yeah, I'm gonna do a little freestyle for y'all tonight. The other night I was sitting at home and I was thinking of things that I needed to do. So I decided to take a stroll, walk down the boulevard for maybe an hour or two. As I was stepping down the street, I heard a man calling out to me. I looked around and I saw a young brother sitting on the ground, hungry, starving. So I walked up to him and I gave him a little change. He told me don't give him that he didn't want me to pay for pity. Instead, he told me to sit down and he had something that he wanted to say to me. You know, usually we walk by and we see a bum and we just ignore all that little jibber jabber and all the things that they say to us. But instead, something told me to sit down and listen to the story he had to say. So as I pulled up a crate and poured alongside of his box, I realized that this young brother had a lot of things to say. He looked at me and he grinned, and he asked me how was I doing. I told him that I was a little stressed out today. I said I had things on my mind that was starting to mess with me and I couldn't get through the day. Every time I used to close my eyes, all I had to do was sit back and thank the Lord and pray. But it seemed like the Lord wasn't listening to me today. So I went a little higher and I asked God to send wings and give me angels to take me away. I felt like dying, so all I did was sit back and start crying. And he told me that the struggle that I was going through wasn't really that serious. He lived every day with his mind to the brick walls and sitting back and trying to take falls and cops coming around telling him that he needed to move his things along. But all I could do was sit back and wonder, was it really me that was really having a bad day? So I looked around and I saw the other people sitting there with him. Everybody had a story to tell. It was like a pirate little hell. All I could do was sit back and dwell on these things that were going through my mind and realize that maybe it wasn't me that was really doing the time. They sit there every night with their ears to a concrete wall and sit back and think about the things that are going on. They have to live with the struggle of not eating, drinking, or even getting along. I go home each and every night and lay my head on a nice warm pillow. I go home to my kids and my family and I can say I love you. Only things they can say I love you to is making it through another day. They wake up every other morning trying to look for something to eat. Cops harass them. They got more history than me. This young man told me that he had seen many things in his life. He had lost his kids and he had lost his wife. He said that the things that we go through each and every day we take for granted. We take a penny and we look at it and we throw it on the floor because there's nothing more to us. All we think about is greenbacks. He said a penny for him is a cup of coffee. I said a penny to me is just something to look at. I flip it heads and split the heads and tails, and each and every day I try to go through my day and I try to make sure that I'm going to get by. He flips heads and tails and he try to make sure that he's going to make it to another day or see another moment. All I can do is sit back and cry. Maybe that pity that I tried to drop in his lap should have been pity for me because he's the one struggling. He told me one night he was sitting alone and the fire was burning. He tried to warm himself, but it seemed to get colder and colder as the days went on. I asked him if there was anything I could do, and he said, pray for me. But not pray that I make it. Pray that I see another day, and that I can have someone else to speak to. Pray that my family remembers the things that I went through before my life was taken, for the things I had to go through. Remember that I was a vet, and I fought in many wars. And each and every day, I took a gun into the battlefield to make sure that you had something to live for. He said, pray that each and every day you wake up and you can say, thank you, God, for giving me another day. You know, before this, I wasn't really a praying man. You know, I believed in a higher power, but truly I didn't understand. You know, for me, God was just a name written down in a book. Now I got to take a second look. Revelation says that the world would become as black as sackcloth, but his world is black each and every day. Anytime that he sees a light, it can be that light taking his life away. We have a black president who says he's going to make changes. You know, it's really fucked up when he's the one that's fucking us the most. You could have took this young brother off the street, but nowadays you gotta pay to live in a shelter and find yourself to sleep. Maybe life ain't what it really is cracked up to be. Maybe it's better to die and go to heaven when I can live free. So instead of giving this young man some pity, maybe I should tell him thank you. Because on this day, I'm the one with pity, and he was the one who educated me. Thank you.